A distinctive character with a unique appearance and manner, Winston Albert Kwame Fiadzigbey was a hero for family, church, and country during his illustrious but brief life. And just as it is often said to sportsmen and women, Albert left it all on the field of life. Born at Anyako in the Volta region of Ghana on September 9, 1944, Winston Albert Fiadzigbey came up through the education and training ranks to become a lawyer when he was called to the bar in 1975. After qualifying as a lawyer in 1975, Albert was appointed assistant manager with the State Insurance Corporation (SIC). He progressed by dint of hard work to become chief manager and head of legal division in 1987 and doubled as corporate secretary until 1992. He became executive director and general manager of legal services in 1992 and 1999 respectively. He also served on all technical, legal and administrative committees of the company. After 27 years with SIC, Albert voluntarily and honorably retired in January 2002 to concentrate on private legal practice at the now defunct Fafali Law Chambers, a law firm he established at the time. Albert Fiadzigbey put to work his vast legal expertise beyond his roles in SIC. He also served in various capacities including chairman and consultant on several committees in the West African sub-region.
A legal luminary, he was a lecturer at the Ghana Law School, teaching commercial law and in particular insurance law. He taught not only in Ghana Law School, but he also taught in the Gambian Insurance Institute. So he was sought after in Ghana and in Gambia for his expertise in commercial law and insurance law in particular.
Back home in the motherland, lawyer Albert Fiadzigbey served on a number of boards of companies and institutions at various times between 1995 and 2001. Notably, the chairman of the board of the National Trust Holding Company, NTHC. As a great leader, lawyer Fiadzigbey took delight in nurturing the people around him and therefore imparted his knowledge to many. Mrs. Charity Agbabla worked closely with him.
Forget him. So there's no need to remember him. He's always like a light shining ahead of us. Again, I'll go to the time where they call themselves the concerned members of the church, and they were fighting a battle for the truth in the Yippie church. And when they get to their meetings, and he leads the meeting, he directs the meeting. We leave the meeting knowing that we are going on the battle to win it. There is no time that we ever thought that we would lose anything. And sure enough, we never lose. So I remember him as like a pillar for truth. In our current days, we can rarely find people who would consistently stand for the truth. They would do it at times and go away at times, but he seems to have known his footing, and everything he refers it to Christ. He doesn't want to be mentioned for doing anything good. He would rather want to encourage others to, Charity, you have done it. This person, you have done it. And that's how he was. And he rarely mentioned his name, so I'm not surprised that you won't see his name a lot in the history of the church. But he is the one who was behind it all. He brought in Mr. Yomakwe, a very gigantic man. He brought in Kwame, and he brought in my husband, James Agbabla. He brought in Toby Gabumensa. And all those people didn't do things by themselves. Each one was learning at the feet of Mr. Albert Fiadzigbey. I will remember him.
A man of faith, Albert loved his God and served the church diligently and faithfully. He was a very committed Christian and demonstrated his love for God through the incredible amount of time, resources, and expertise he spent in carrying out his Christian responsibilities.
Fiadzigbey of blessed memory was one of the founding fathers of Yipi Church of Ghana, which is now called Global Evangelical Church, not La. The church started from, or the church began from La, near the police station, in a private school building. And briefly to say, yes, that is what Mr. Fiadzigbey, I know about him. But Mr. Fiadzigbey was a man of zeal and commitment during the establishment of the church. He and some 10 elders who have passed on started a church at that premises. And I remember Mr. Fiadzigbey, his commitment, his drive to see the church grow was very, let me say, excellent. Now, when the church began, there was no administrator. And so he and my dad, the late Mr. Fiadzigbey, sacrificed their time, their resources, traveling from Accra to Ho. I think by then they had heard about the late Mr. Akolache. And so with their initiative, they were able to bring Mr. Akolache down to administer the church as the first catechist. And from there, the church, the congregation started multiplying. And Mr. Fiadzigbey made sure that every Sunday he was present at church, and whatever the church resources the church need, he spent his time and resources to support the church.
His service was very visible, not only at the local congregational level, but more so at the national level. He was at the front line of the church's legal challenges and negotiation.
You know, people of his caliber, they are rare. You can scarcely see them. One of the things he did was that he introduced me into the court system when they were fighting the battle during the Yipi Church conflict in the court. Fiadzigbey invited me and briefed me and took me to court to stand in for Mr. James Agbablo, my husband, in court, and I was terrified. But the way he prepared me, I just went and played the card, and that introduced me into the system where anytime my husband would not be available in court, I was there. Yeah, because Reverend Komodokwe, whom I served as his personal assistant, was willing and available to release me to go and represent my husband in court where necessary, when necessary. Yes.
Well, as I said earlier, he was a committed Christian, and he gave all his best, his resources, his time, his knowledge at the disposal of the church. As pastor's resident, he led the church, and with his resources purchase the pastor's residence, which we now use as a residence for our pastors. So Mr. Fiadzigbey, I can say that the youth can learn from him through the church history. The church history cannot be written without Mr. Fiadzigbey.
Fiadzigbey's outlook on life, I see that he looks at life as in totality, meaning that life is involving people, and people must be given the opportunity to know who they are, and that they should be, their gifts and talents to be acknowledged, and that they should be helped and given the opportunity to exercise those talents to the glory of God. He did that in my life and in the life of all the people I worked with together with him. My life, he brought me into the limelight. He led me into even volunteering to work for the church for 7.5 years, as if I planned it on my own. I didn't. I was brought into the picture by Mr. Albert Fiadzigbey. And then our late moderator, Reverend Amenyedu. Every morning we know in ourselves at the head office that we are scared. We don't know the day, what the day will bring. And then Mr. Albert Fiadzigbey will appear, and his composure doesn't show that there is anything to be terrified about. That's why I always say that he knows what he's doing. And when he speaks, in Eve, the moderator, the late moderator will say, Amol and Yeshi. We have people. So even if I'm not capable, I have somebody to lean on. His outlook on life is to be a pillar where people can lean on and find their rest. We missed him.
After 20 years of his passing, we continue to remember and honor an iconic personality and a true gentleman who gave so much insignificant service to his nation, the West African sub-region, to countless people, and more importantly, to his God. We are proud of his life and cherish the memories he left behind.
Time flies. So soon 20 years has passed. And I fondly remember my brother, lawyer Albert Fiadzigbey. Those who follow godly paths will rest in peace when they die. Isaiah 57 and verse 2. We thought that in a text, in a Bible text, summarized the story and the legacy of lawyer Albert Fiadzigbey. He lived a godly life. He left a legacy. It's been 20 years of his passing. And we are grateful to God for his preservation and keeping power. For his wife, Dr. Matilda Fiadzigbey, and his 4 adult children. I'm particularly grateful for the resilience that Dr. Matilda Fiadzigbey, the first ever female president of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors, has exhibited. The resilience she has exhibited in 20 years in keeping the family together and in moving forward by the grace and strength of God in our lives. We are grateful.